With the RV Advisor's Roadside Assistance Plan, we've got you covered for just $99 per year. Visit thervadvisor.com today.
This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. Today, I am joined by the Joneses. It is Tonya and it is Derrick. Hey, how you doing, folks?
Good.
Wonderful. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. And we're speaking to you. You are in Clayton, North Carolina, not too far from Raleigh, right in the middle of the state. Looks like a very, very nice day there today. And you know, Derrick, you got your shirt sleeves on. You're looks like you're doing okay. It's not too cold, so that's a good thing. And we're trying to, before we came on, we're trying to kind of guess where you guys are, and we got close. We need a little bit of few hints, but we were.
You had to guess like 6 times, man.
No, he was good. No, he was close.
Wasn't too bad. But I'll tell you something. The Fabulous Joneses, I like this. I'm on your Instagram page. I'm checking it out, and you guys got over 5,300 followers, and you've accumulated that many followers in just a couple of months, which is amazing to me. That's fantastic. So you must be doing something right. People are interested in your lives, and I got to tell you, some of the best photos I've seen ever on an Instagram page. I mean, they just explode off the computer screen. They're beautiful. I mean, seriously. And some of the places you guys have been, extraordinary. And from everywhere from like kind of big sky country out to the west, to the desert, southwest, and all that. And then you're in a great shot of you showed me earlier of at the Great Salt Lake.
Yeah.
And just amazing shots. Amazing. You got to check it out. It's
Thank you.
Yeah, the Fabulous Joneses. It's fabulous.jones. Fabulous.jones at Instagram. That's where you'll find them. And it's Tonya and Derrick. So tell us a little bit about when you started first of all, tell us a little bit about what you're driving around when you do get out on the road, and when it all started for you guys.
All right. Well, like most things with us, it started as a joke. I was like, look, we can just go to the beach again this summer, or I can quit my job and we can have the time of our lives, and I didn't quit my job, but I did take some time off, and we set out in June, and we left, and we started out in the Outer Banks of North Carolina and ended up in California, and we hit the geographical center of the United States in Lebanon, Kansas. That was one of our first stops, and we hit Yellowstone and saw Old Faithful. We hit the Grand Canyon. We went to Canyonlands in Utah. We went to Joshua Tree in California. We went to Sequoia, and we went to Lake Tahoe. We hit a little Bighorn up there in Montana, and we went to Great Lakes, Niagara Falls, Mount Rushmore. Forgot about that. Spent about a week there.
We did. It was wonderful.
That was crazy.
And when did this whole thing? When did this big world tour, country tour go down?
This went down June 23rd, our anniversary, and we decided we would leave out then, and we didn't really know how long we were going to stay. And we were driving around in my Ford F-250, right? And we had a tent from Walmart. I think we paid $35 for it. And a little stove, brought water and all that good stuff with us. And
Crazy.
I didn't know what we were doing. We had no clue. We stayed at boondocking sites.
Yeah.
The Wyoming wind ripped off my my tonneau cover of my truck. I had a little trifold.
Oh, wow.
That just ripped it off. And I had to stop. She went on Facebook Marketplace on the road, and we ended up buying a camper shell from this couple that lived in Vernal, Utah.
Yep.
We stopped by there one day and just paid for bought the camper shell, which made the trip a whole lot easier, I have to say. And we just kept driving on. And then I think once we went all the way to the Pacific Coast, we went to Huntington Beach and rode around there for a weekend.
Yeah.
Then made our way back across. And by the time we hit Niagara Falls, we were getting pretty tired living on the road.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
awesome.
I think we stopped at a hotel once every week and a half or so just to do laundry and kind of regroup.
Right.
So I think we might have stayed at a hotel 6 times during that.
The entire time.
That
3
time.
months almost, yeah.
Wow.
It was,
Man.
we had a great time, though.
It was
Yeah,
wonderful.
it sure sounds like it. I mean, wow, what an adventure. And all those places to cover that much territory in that amount of time that's commitment. That's pretty cool. You know, and you listed a bunch of places that are on my bucket list. I love.
Well, that was the thing, you know. We got tired of saying one of these days.
Yeah.
We decided to go ahead and do it, you know.
Good for you. That's.
And now that we kind of touched base on all of them, I got a few places I want to go back to and check out even better, you know.
Right.
Definitely.
Right. Yeah. I mean, were there any? Well, I'll tell you what. We'll talk about it on the other side of the break because I want to find out what were the ones that really stuck out and said, you know what, we got to come back here. So I want to learn about those places, and we'll do that. We're speaking with the fabulous Joneses. It's Tonya, it's Derrick, and they're in Clayton, North Carolina.
Yeah.
That toddling town, that big metropolis of Clayton. We'll be right back
There.
in just a moment. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. Stay tuned. The RVACA is a charitable organization protecting the rights of RV owners. With your help, we'll work with dealers and manufacturers to ensure quality controls in place prior to delivery of an RV. Additionally, the RVACA provides assistance to disaster relief victims. Visit rvaca.org. We are back on the RV Advisor Podcast. My guests are the fabulous Joneses. And those fabulous Joneses include Tonya and Derrick. And that's it. There's nobody else.
That's it.
Tonya and Derrick, the dynamic duo. And they're in Clayton, North Carolina. And, you know, we learned about the fact that, you know, you guys really, really hit the road in a big way, seeing all those places we talked about just before the break. And is there one or two that really stuck out and you say, you know what, man, I got to get back here. This is just spectacular. I got to do a little more exploring.
Yellowstone was amazing.
Uh-huh.
Leaving out of the east gate of Yellowstone was one of the most, surreal experiences I've ever had in my life.
Looks otherworldly.
And you kind of coming out into Montana and everything just opens up. I had to stop and just look at it. Like, you can't take a picture of that. It's just too big. It's just so much to see.
Yeah.
You need like a 360 lens or something to really check that out.
Right.
I want to get better equipment to take pictures with too, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are off to a heck of a start because these photos, like I said, you got to check these photos out on their Instagram page at fabulous.jones. That's where you got to go to see them. They are really great. So yeah, when you get that higher end equipment, you know, I'm scared of what's it's gonna be spectacular. Where else? So Yellowstone was one, and give us another one.
What about Nevada when we saw the comet?
Well, I'd like to go back to Sequoia because that was a big place, and we just went to that one little spot. You know, when you're boondogging, you know, when it starts to get dark, you get worried. Like, I got to find a place to camp for the night, you know. So, and we left without any plan whatsoever, and that was part of the fun.
It was.
But it was also part of the most harrowing experiences we've ever had in some cases.
Yeah.
I learned the difference between like a Forest Service road and a Forest Service development road on that trip.
So what is that difference?
A development road isn't developed at all. It's mostly like
So it's an
four-wheel
undeveloped
path.
road, is essentially
Yes, it
an
is,
undeveloped. Yeah.
for a dune buggy, not for an F-250.
Well, I had to back my truck up on the side of a mountain about a mile, and
Uh-huh.
that was very painstaking because I got to a place where I couldn't go any further,
Yeah.
and that was pretty crazy. But
Yeah.
we made it out. It was a great story. I wish I had a videotaped it or something.
We got down to the bottom. We just hugged each other like, we made it.
But California is a beautiful state. A lot of beautiful country there. Nevada's gorgeous in some places. Oh my God, Utah was really surprising. I had never been there, never really heard much about Utah, and as soon as we hit the border, I was just in awe. That's a gorgeous place. Too many to name, really.
Yes.
There's so many places in this country. It's just so. It's such a. First of all, it's a huge country, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
it's just got so much diversity geographically. I think it's got pretty much almost everything. You got rainforest, you got deserts, you got plains, you got towering mountains, you got and you got tropics here in South Florida where we are, and Hawaii, of course.
Yeah.
It's just it's incredible.
Yeah, we went down to Key West this past Christmas.
Yeah.
Stayed there for about a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been to Maine. We haven't been up northeast yet. We like to go up there.
There's some great spots up there. Some beautiful.
And don't be deceived. Just because it's August doesn't mean it can't get cold in some of these places, because we almost froze to death in the Sierra Nevadas and in Wyoming one time.
Yeah. Well, I've said it before on this show that Wyoming has about the most schizophrenic weather anywhere. You can go from 80 degrees one day and it's 17 the next. It's just insane. I have a very close friend, my childhood friend, who for a long time lived in Seattle, and then he and his wife decided to move to Cheyenne. And when you get out of the outskirts of Cheyenne, you're in the outskirts. Believe me, there is nothing out there. It is just it's nothing, right? It's like you cross the street and you're from metropolis to nothing. Vast expanse, right? So it's pretty wild. So Tonya, you shared with us that you're a teacher.
I am a
school teacher. And what do you teach, by the way?
I'm a third grade teacher. I teach little ones.
Yeah.
I teach everything to little ones.
A little bit of everything, right?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. So, it's got to be kind of cool that when you make these trips, when it gets to the history or social studies or geography or whatever, maybe you get to share some of these of your own personal adventures, right?
Yes, I share photos. We've been able to get little cards and share them with my class, of like little history cards and different things. So all that's been really fun to do with them.
Yeah, it's great when you can experience it firsthand. And Derrick, what kind of work do you do?
Well, I was the corrections officer for a long time. That's kind of what led to us doing this. I was so stressed out that I was almost on high blood pressure medication and everything. And I just finally decided to take a step back for a little while, and just get out there and see some stuff.
Good for you. I mean, I can only try to imagine, I guess, how much of a challenge that is. And you said stressful, and I certainly can understand that. It's got to be a tough job, but but hey, you look relaxed now, man. You look like you're doing just fine.
I am. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Good for you. That's terrific. Well, look, you guys are doing it. You're living the life, and I know you've got some plans for soon. Maybe in the spring or summer, you're going to get back out there, right? Which is be here before we know it. So tell us a little bit about some places you're thinking. You had mentioned the Northeast that you haven't been to yet.
Right. We haven't been anywhere in Texas, Louisiana. We actually had a guy invite us down to Louisiana. Said we should definitely go in the spring. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just up in the air, man. Really, even when we were on the road the first time, it's like one day to the next, like, where do you want to go? Like, where are we going? And, end up in Lake Mead one day,
Not actually in the lake, but at Lake Mead, right?
Almost.
You didn't go off road, did you? You didn't get like submerged.
I went off roading a lot. We went to a lot of Bureau of Land Management places, and they are vast.
Yes.
And you can get lost there.
Yeah.
But that truck, the Ford F-250, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it did great. It did
Yeah,
wonderful.
that thing is like, those are loaded up pretty good. They're pretty powerful.
Yes.
It's like you want to take those into the end times. It's like you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely gave it. I mean, it really went through it. We almost died in it. We did everything. Like
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I'll tell you, I really enjoyed speaking with both of you, and we'd love to have you on again because you guys are a lot of fun, and I want to hear, after you take your next little journey out there, get back.
And next time I'll tell you about our trip down Rodeo Drive when we were behind.
Hey, all right.
The Bentley.
Listen, who knows? You're out there in La La Land, Rodeo Drive, and maybe they say, hey, you know what? We need a truck driver with a beard for this role in this film.
You never know, man.
We had desert red dust on our big Ford F-250 on Rodeo Drive.
There you go.
Good time.
Perfect.
Great.
That's terrific. Well, listen, again, folks, if you want to see what the Fabulous Joneses are doing, and there's some pretty great stuff, you can check them out at Instagram at fabulous.jones. Instagram, that's / fabulous.jones. And do you have are you other spots too? You have a YouTube or Facebook presence, or is it just Instagram?
No.
That's it right now.
That's all we're doing right now.
Okay.
We just got started, so.
Lots of folks on Instagram, and like I said, they've got, you got over 5,300 followers and growing every day, which is, pretty darn cool. And after this, you'll have more. I'm can kind of almost guarantee that. That's going to be a lot of fun. So, and you get to interact with your the followers. You get a little back and forth with them sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's really fun. It's really been fun.
Yeah,
we're enjoying it.
Yeah, and people like myself can live sort of vicariously through you guys. Like I just like, okay, I'm here sitting here doing podcasts all day long. So I wish I can get out there. So I don't always get out there. So, now I can just say, oh, let's tune into the Joneses and see what they got cooking, Well,
we get to hook up with people. We get to hook up with people from all over the world and see what their part of the world looks like, and they get to see what the United States looks like through us. And it's been kind of fun, getting to know people.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because part of our plan this year with the RV Advisor is to kind of explore a little more outside the U.S. and Canada. I mean, we've primarily been U.S. and Canada, mostly U.S., a little bit outside the country, but I think more and more we're trying to get some stories from other places where there's actual RVing, and people do exploring and camping in other parts of the world, Europe and South America and all over. So
we're going to be going to Colombia in December.
We are.
Yeah.
So there'll be some good shots from that.
We're
wow.
excited.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's great. Anybody speak Spanish, or can you get by or not? A little bit. A little bit. That's okay. You'll make it. You'll do just fine. I have no doubt. All right, Joneses. Well, thank you again for joining us on the RV Advisor podcast. Stay safe, enjoy your travels, and we'll see you again on the other side.
Thanks for having us.
All right, there they are, Tonya and Derrick Jones, the Fabulous Joneses. This is the RV Advisor podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. We'll be back in just a moment.
The RVACA is a charitable organization protecting the rights of the RV owners. We'll work with dealers and manufacturers to ensure quality control is in place prior to delivery of an RV. Additionally, the RVACA provides assistance to disaster relief victims. Visit rvaca.org.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the RV Advisor podcast. My name's Tom Alexander. Of course, as always, I'm joined by our good friend and our guest coordinator, Neve Carizacco. Neve.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, and we're always trying new things here at the RV Advisor podcast, and of course we have lots of guests from all over the United States and Canada, but we are expanding. We have had some folks on from other countries. We've had them from
Yes.
Australia and England, but I know you're working diligently.
The Europeans are
The
wanting
European
in on the RV Advisor. So we've had multiple people since our last conversation on this podcast, join in and chime in and say that they have either traveled in Europe and they have plenty of advice to give, or they are going to, and they would love to hear more from people. So yeah, I had one Italian couple reach out to me who are currently traveling over there. They do it on the weekends mostly currently, but they would be full-time RVers in Europe by the end of the year. So super excited to get them on our podcast. So we should have them on one of these days. And we actually have somebody from Spain also. And they were starting to fill me in. I had a conversation with them 2 days ago on, the expenses or the lack of expenses that come along with traveling in an RV over in Europe. So yeah, I'm really excited to get some more information and dig deeper into that and let our followers and members know. So it's great. It's gonna be awesome.
That's terrific. That is great. And like I said a couple weeks back, I'm hoping that eventually we may even be able to do something on location someday.
Oh, I would love it.
From over there. And listen, you know what? I mean, the next time I know you get back to your native Ireland.
Yeah, for sure.
You were just there. I think, when was it? October? When were you there?
I was there in October. Yeah.
October, right? So, you can do a segment for us from the Emerald Isle, and
for
that
sure.
would be great. And who knows where I'll wind up somewhere over in on the continent. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yet to be determined, but it'll be a lot of fun. But if you do check in from other places other than the U.S. and Canada, we'd love to hear from you too. And
yes,
you can reach
absolutely.
out to Neve Carey Zacco, our guest coordinator. And Neve, why don't you give them your address?
So it's ncarey@theRVadvisor.com. So it's NCarey@theRVadvisor.com. Or on social media, we have Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, but mainly Instagram and Facebook is where I'd find the messages easier. So yeah, reach out to us on any of those platforms and we will get back to you.
Terrific. Well, there you go. That's simple, folks. We'd love to hear from you, and let us know some segments you'd like to, some things you'd like to see and hear on the show. We're always open to feedback, and just it means an awful lot to us to hear from the folks who watch and listen, because as you know, you can get the podcast in both a visual version or just audio only if you like to just listen while you're driving around or something,
Yeah,
so there
absolutely.
All right, another show wrapped up. Thank you, Neve. As always, great to see you.
Great to see you too. Have a lovely weekend.
Likewise. This is the RV Advisor podcast. She's Neve Carey Zacco. I'm Tom Alexander. See you next time. So long, everybody.